Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today we're playing with the beautiful Tranquility collection from our friends at 49 and Market. And this set features patterned papers, rub-ons, laser cut elements, and lots of beautiful washi tape. So let's take a look. We can start with our paper pack and have a closer look here. So you can see this contains 28 sheets of 6 by 8 inch paper, 3 each of 9 double-sided designs, plus there's one fussy cut element sheet in here too. So let's have a flip through and you can see these gorgeous designs, really soft colors. You've got some beautiful vintage florals in here. We've also got a lot of really nice soft elements with some faux texture. Of course, the butterflies we love from 49 and Market. And you've got some wood grain in here, some elegant collaging, just really beautiful designs and so easy to mix and match and use together. So these are the papers in our paper pack. Then we have a set of rub-ons. Now the rub-ons, you can see here all of these different sheets. You've got 6 inside the pack. You've got butterflies, you've got botanicals, borders, text, and more. And now there's an applicator tool included in here as well. And we'll talk about how easy these are to apply. Next up, we have 2 sets of laser cuts. So we have the laser cut elements that you can see here. Now these contain borders, tickets, and faux postage, and you can see a lot of those elements on here. Then we also have the laser cut wildflower set, which, as you can imagine, is full of beautiful, elegant vintage wildflowers. Now these all just pop right out of the backing sheet, and you can easily glue them down with sticky specs or even layering with some foam tape. Then we have 2 different kinds of washi tape embellishments. So we have a nice big pack. This contains 4 rolls of washi tape, and the rolls are inside here, but I thought it might be nice for you to see what they look like when they're actually applied to a piece of paper. So we have everything in here from this 3-inch wide collage pattern, gorgeous big florals on here. Then you've also got a 3/4 inch wide design. There's a 1/2 inch wide butterfly design and a 1/4 inch roll of stripes. Then, last but not least, we have the roll of postage washi. Now this will come off just like this. These are perforated designs. You can tear them, you can cut them, you can use them individually or in groups. And I've applied them all here. There are 9 different designs in total. So you can see you can use them as embellishments. You could also use these as your card message for the inside or the outside of your card. So as you can see, we have a lot of beautiful things to explore today, and I am so glad you're here. Come play with us. 49 and Market is well known for their coordinating elements, and this makes it so easy to create cards that look gorgeous because they take all the guesswork out of mixing and matching. So I thought we could start with a simple card design and kind of play around with some of the papers and laser cuts. So I've started with a basic white card base, and I trimmed down a piece of pattern paper just slightly smaller than the card front. And I like to do this because it creates a nice frame of white around the pattern design, and it adds some contrast, especially with some of this beautiful collage and kind of faux texture that you've got on some of these darker designs. Helps that to stand out a bit. And I also have a beautiful laser cut floral image. Now this is a fairly substantial image, and I could, if I wanted to, simply take this and pop it right down on the front of my card. I could pop that up with some foam tape if I wanted to, or glue it down with sticky specs. In this case, I've got a sentiment laser cut piece, and I've got this popped up with some foam tape. So what I could do is simply position this right on here, and I would have a really nice card ready to send to somebody. Now I can also expand on this if I want to. Because I know all of the colors coordinate, the vintage style of the paper and the florals match so well, I've got lots of different opportunities for adding to this if I want to. So I did want to work in a couple of additional layers here, so let's take a look. Here I've got a piece of pattern paper, again from that 6x8 collection. And of course, I know that everything coordinates. Those greens will go beautifully together. I've got some hints of white in here to go along with my white edging. So I can simply glue this down and use this as a basis for the rest of the elements of my card. I think what I want to do though in this case is add a little bit of gold edging on here. So I'm using my Spectrum Noir Midas. This is a gold pigment ink. And I'm just going to edge around the outside of this piece of pattern paper. Now my ink pad is well used. It's a little bit on the dry side, so it's going to give me a nice soft look, but I may need to go a bit more heavy-handed with my inking. Okay, got that. And then simply position this down. So now I've got a bit of edging around here. So once again, I could go back to my floral element, put this down, add my sentiment, and that looks quite nice. I've even got a little butterfly. I could position her right up there too. So again, I can call this good, but I thought I would add in something more, and I've got another laser cut piece here. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Now this beautiful piece has also been popped up on foam tape, and you can see here that I've only added that foam tape around the outside edges. I'm not worrying about the center pieces in here. So what I could do is position this here. I'm not going to glue it down quite yet, because then what I can do is add in my floral piece like so. Figure out where I want this to go, and then glue the rose piece on top of the window frame, and then I can flip this over and add some more foam tape where the flower will hide that, and that will kind of create some stability in here. So I can position that down. I can add my sentiment wherever I want that to go, and then I can have my little butterfly going in whatever direction I want. So I'm going to kind of play around with this. I could also from here add in some ink spatters. I could add in gemstones. I could add some ribbon. I think I'm going to stop because I quite like this the way it goes. But I wanted to show you the inside here. So I'll shift this out, and you can see on the inside I've already decorated this. So I have a piece of pattern paper inked with gold. Then I have a postage washi piece right here, just positioned right down onto that pattern paper. And I've got a strip of washi tape. Now I added a laser cut botanical from the Wildflower set, plus a frame from the Elements laser set, and a butterfly laser cut. Now the Remember Today is a rub-on, which I applied to a piece of lightly patterned paper, and I used scissors to trim around the outside edge so I can pop this up with a bit of foam tape. So this is using all of the elements from today's collection. So what I'm going to do is glue everything together, and I'll post it in the project gallery so you can see how it looks all completed. In the meantime, let's take a look at another card. With this card, I've also trimmed down a piece of pattern paper, just slightly smaller than my card front. But rather than having a white frame go around here, I've actually filled in the frame with strips of washi tape. So I thought I'd show you what my card looks like before I add that pattern paper in there. So you can see here I've just placed a strip of the collage washi tape, top and bottom, and then I've overlapped that with 2 strips of the stripe washi. Now what I can do is just take my scissors, I'll flip this over and trim off any excess washi on there, and I've got a nice colorful border. And then I can add in my pattern paper. And this is the sheet that I used. So you can see I played around with the placement of this a little bit because the paper is of course bigger than my card front. And I think you can see, just for orientation, this flower right here is this portion here. So you can kind of mix and match and pick which section of that collage paper you like to use for your background. Lots of different possibilities there. So when I've trimmed this down and I've glued it onto the front of my card, I can then add in my big, beautiful laser cut embellishment. But before I did that, I added in some rub-ons. So this leaf cluster here is a rub-on, and so is this butterfly here. And then I've placed my laser cut embellishment on top using foam tape, and I've also added in the butterfly laser cut and the sentiment here. Now I've also got some crystals in here, and these are just adding a little bit of sparkle and shine to my project. So there are lots and lots of ways that you can coordinate with these elements. Then for my card inside, I have a torn strip of pattern paper overlapping this dot design, and I have a laser cut lace border at the top. Now this little collage is a laser cut floral and sentiment, along with some butterfly rub-ons and a postage washi piece. I've got another card that I want to show you. This one also showcases some of the pattern papers and embellishments, as well as those rub-ons. So this leaf cluster here is a rub-on, and so is my BU card focal. Now, if you're new to rub-ons, I'm going to do a quick demo for you. You can see just how easy these are to use. I'll scoot this aside, and I've got a piece of pattern paper from the collection, and I have a rub-on that I've just trimmed out from the larger piece. So when you're opening your package of rub-ons, you're going to have lots of sheets that look like this with lots of images on them. Just grab a pair of scissors and snip off the one that you want. Do keep the liner with the embellishment though, because you want to keep those two together until you're ready to do your transferring. Now also in that pack, you're going to have an applicator tool, and this is going to be the tool that you use to transfer your rub-on onto your paper, your surface. So what I like to do, keeping these two pieces together, I'll just separate them when I know where I want to put my image. So I can kind of figure, do I want it here, over here? How am I going to use this? I can, of course, trim this down even more if I wanted to, but I quite like this design, so I thought I'd use all of it. So I'm going to position this down. Now I've folded over a little piece of this plastic, and that's just to give me a bit of a handle when I'm ready to remove the top portion after I've done my transferring. So I'm going to smooth this down with my finger, make sure that everything is well adhered from here. This has a bit of a stick to it, so it's not going to slide all over like your rub-ons, maybe the ones that you remember using as a kid. I remember having some success and some tearful failures with my cartoon rub-ons when I was a child, but I guarantee no tears with 49 and Market rub-ons. They're really, really nice quality. So as I'm coming in here, I'm just applying some firm, even pressure as I'm going around here, trying to get to the edges as well as the center. Now on your applicator, you've got a tip on here. I don't recommend that you go in with the very pointy tip, but rather to use the side of your applicator. And here we go, around and around. And then what I'm going to do is grab from this folded up portion, and I'm gently and slowly pulling this back to see if I've got my image transferred. Now if I notice on here, oops, I haven't transferred everything, I can just position this back down and keep going with my applicator tool. But let's see how I've done so far. Kind of walk it around the edges a little bit, and it looks like I've done it. So there I've got my transferred design. Beautiful and so easy to do. I love this. Okay, going back to our card, you can see here where I've got that leaf element on here, and then my sentiment is also the rub-on. And I've got a nice border element here too. Now this is two overlapping strips of washi tape. So that collage washi and the stripe, the same one that I used to create the border on my previous card. Then I have a key laser cut. This is glued straight down, and a postage laser cut piece. This is popped up on some foam tape, and I've got a little bit of jute twine on here. Now this whole area here is printed on the pattern paper. So So you can see I've just utilized that beautiful design. Don't need to add a whole lot more to it, except that I decided to pop up a butterfly laser cut piece and add some more of those crystals. Then for my card inside, I have 2 pattern papers with a strip of collage washi tape to go across the seam between the two. I also have a couple of washi postage elements, and they're kind of interacting with this butterfly laser cut that's crossing over here. Now, washi is fantastic for accents and for borders, like you can see here. You can also use your washi as a background, and I have a fun example of that. So let's take a look. I think you can see here on my card where I've utilized the widest of our washi tapes, using it as pattern paper. So if you recognize this beautiful floral element, it's right here on the inside of my card. I've also used a portion of this same tape for the front flap of my card, so that when you open and close the card, you have this really pretty coordinated look. I absolutely love this trick for utilizing washi tapes, especially these wider ones, as your background paper. Now the fold of the card is really easy to do as well. So you can see as it's opening like so. I'll just give you a quick demo on this. So I'm starting with my card fold to the side, and then I'm going to take just the front flap of my card, and I'm going to bring this edge to the fold. So I'm just going to gently fold this back and then crease it with my finger. And then I like to come in with my bone folder and just score this really well to make sure that that flap will lie flat. And then I can decorate from there. So I can add my washi tapes and my other embellishments. So what I've done here is simply taken that large piece of washi, placed it down, used my scissors to trim along the excess, and then I've also overlapped the butterfly collage washi tape here, and then also the stripe as well. Now you can see this leaf element that crosses the washi tape. Well, this is a rub-on. So you can apply rub-ons on top of washi tape, which may or not be a surprise to you. It was to me. I thought, oh, I have to try this out. And it works, and I love that. So it's a nice way to get a little bit of dimension on here too. Now I've also got a postage washi piece here as my card message too. So that's just placed right on top. Then going back to the card front, you can see I've got a leaf cluster. This is one of the laser cut pieces. I have a butterfly laser cut. Again, a little bit of that stripe washi on top of the larger collage. And I've got a circle die cut here with my rub-on sentiment and some rub-on stitching on here, some faux stitching. And then my circle die cut is overlapping this fold. So when I open the card, it's going to look like this. And I've got some more of that postage washi in here. So this is a lot of fun and a great way to utilize that washi tape. Okay, I've got another card that is also using our washi tape as pattern paper, and you can see that right here. I've also got some more washi going in on some of these steps here. So this card is a super simple and really unique card base to work with. Now this is made with the Sidestep card cutting die. Let me bring this in and we can take a look. And then it is decorated with a lot of washi. So this is the die that I'm working with today. And you can see it's just one piece here. Of course, hot off the press is going to give you your folding diagrams and also your instructions. But let me just show you a little trick with this that I quite like. So as you can see here, it's the one piece. I'll flip this over and you can see that the die is not only going to cut out your card piece, it's also going to cut and create score lines in here. So you don't have to do any real manipulation, any cutting or folding with this. It's super easy. Now I think you can see this line going right across the center. This is going to be the main fold of your card. And what I love is that it matches perfectly hot off the presses card bases. So you can see how that fold is going to line up with the fold of my card. So what I do is simply take my card base, take my die, position this on here, and I know that the lines will be aligned on here. Tape it down with a little bit of low tack tape and run it through my die cutting machine. And then I will have a piece that looks like this. So I've got my fold lines and my score lines in here. So then what I'm going to do is just follow that diagram that is included on the package and just fold up and down my mountain and valley folds. So fold this in like so and start creasing. And then I've got my piece done. Then once again, I'm going to grab that bone folder. I'm going to look for that bone folder. Where is it? Here it is. And simply score those lines down. So I have some nice crisp creases. And then I can decorate as I wish. So in this case, what I've done is taken some of the widest washi, placed it down, and then decorated around from there. Okay, I'm going to bring this back in, and you can see this is that beautiful large washi. I've got a strip of the collage washi down here at the bottom, and then I have overlapping a piece of the pattern paper on here. Then I've also got some stitching rub-ons on here. I've got a floral element on my die cut circle along with the sentiment. This is another laser cut piece and some of those crystals. And then on the inside, I have some really simple washi down here at the bottom. Again, more of the stitching rub-ons. I love those for little borders and accents. And I've also got the washi postage as my card message and another laser cut piece on here. For my steps in here, I've got more of the washi tape just to create some really soft dimension in here. Again, I'm utilizing some of the white space on my border, and that's going to be picked up from some of the edging on here that you can see, and of course when you open up the card. And this is our final card project of the day today. So I hope you have enjoyed this. A big thank you to our friends at 49 and Market for always creating such beautiful supplies to work with. And a special thanks to you for joining me today. We're really glad you're here, and we're so happy you're a part of our Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything that I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It does help people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 new videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.